Welcome to my review of episode 7 of Penguin. Just because a show has got brilliant Rotten Tomatoes numbers, just because a show has great ratings, just because everyone is shilling it, and simping it online, it doesn't mean a TV show is flawless. And the Penguin TV show is nowhere near flawless. It has a lot of problems. Now, I think it's one of the best TV shows that's been made in many, many years. But on today's parameters, that's not much of an achievement, considering the pool has run dry on great television or even film. So I don't think it's a big compliment to say, oh my God, this is the best TV show we've had in years, because we haven't had very good TV shows, because the writing talent, the production talent isn't there. The budgets are being reduced. Money isn't in LA entertainment, it isn't there anymore. Anyway, let's talk about this week's episode of The Penguin, episode 7. And it starts off really surprisingly dark and shocking. I didn't see this coming when they mentioned that Oz's brothers had died in the first episode. So we get this flashback to the 80s. We see a young Oz and his brothers, and we see, a younger version of the mother. And she's tapping on a calculator. She's very busy. Oz interrupts her. She can't really talk to him, but she does anyway, because she's a loving mother. Oz is really enjoying the one-on-one attention she's giving him. Then the brothers come in and start distracting her. Oz is not happy. You can see his jealousy straight off the bat. Now, the mother whispers to the oldest son. She's clearly telling him to get everyone out the house or the apartment or whatever so she can get on with her work. So they go out and they see this gangster doing his gangster stuff. Oz is very impressed. The other brothers are frightened of this gangster, and the older brother approaches the gangster and says to the other brothers, I don't want you going near this, this is not something you need to see. So he approaches him, he gets $50, the brother gets $50. They go off and they start playing hide and seek in this kind of, in the underground, if you like. And the brothers hide from Oz in this kind of water tank thing. I don't know how to describe it, to be honest with you. Oz starts to get very angry. Because of his weight, he can't climb down the ladders, or he's finding it difficult. Out of anger, he shuts his brothers in there. It's a water tank, so clearly they drowned to death. Oz goes back home with the mother, and the mother goes, you're wet because it's been raining. Where are your brothers? Oh, he lies and says they've gone to the cinema. They've gone to watch a movie. He's looking out the window all evening. He knows what's going on. And then it flips back to this little hole where you can hear them bashing and begging Oz to open the door. So Oz literally murdered his own brothers, his own siblings. I'm not sure if I like how this was executed. It's interesting that he was the one who caused the death of the brothers, but I'm not sure of his motivation. I get his jealousy, but these brothers weren't bullying him. The older brother was very loving towards him. Many times he said, sorry, Oz, or whatever, right? So I can see why he would want them out of the way, because he wants the mother's undivided attention. But the thing is as well, when he kills Sophia's brother, if something reminds him of his grotesque nature, it makes him upset and angry, and then he loses his temper and he doesn't think. So it's interesting. Did he close that door to teach them a lesson, thinking in his naive young child brain that they'd find a way out? Or did he really murder them? Did he really want them dead? Something I think could have been executed in a lot better way. But we have one more episode next week. It's clear the mother is going to find out about this, because she still doesn't know. And obviously, she's not going to feel the love for Oz anymore. So this was a great flashback. It really worked. I love the kids who played the brothers and played young Oz. You're going to see him again next week, because we saw some next time footage. Can we stop with next time footage? It's so spoilery filled. It's really, really annoying. But anyway, that flashback was sensational. But then we obviously go back to modern times, where Oz discovers the his little base has been invaded, and he finds Vic out cold. That's interesting that Vic wasn't murdered. You would think the gangsters would just kill Vic, but they just knocked him out. So he can hear, basically, Sal's people are coming up. So he tells Vic to get out of there and get the gang together. And that's the last we see of Vic in this episode. Vic is one of the highlights for me of this series, this limited series, The Penguin. To have him missing from a whole episode is outrageous, but then we would have to lose some Sophia time, and we can't have that. This is Lauren LaFranc's feminist icon, and this is the problem with Sophia. In the first 3 episodes, there was still this feminist crap now and again, but she was interesting in the very least. I think she was more interesting when she was playing off of the family. The problem with Sophia now, she has no one to play off with. Now, in the previous episode last week, she was with Sal. So at least there's something going on, but still, it's very limiting. And don't get me started on Sal. Sal dies in this week's episode in the most comical, pathetic way. Why did you kill him off so quickly? And it's clear they wanted to move away from Sal, but the way he dies, Oz doesn't actually really kill him. He has some kind of heart attack. But last week, Sal was cooking. His wife was burnt fucking alive, and his son, and he was fucking cooking. That's ridiculous. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? That is crazy. So that's dumb. I didn't like that, and I didn't like how he escaped as well. I mean, how did he swim across all that water? That was ridiculous as well. So there's a lot of flaws in this show. And as I say, because they want to make Sophia this feminist icon, she's kind of trapped, and she doesn't really have any other characters to play off of. Now, this week, she's in the scenes with the mother. The actor playing the mother is fantastic, playing Ozzy's mother. She's great. And Sophia starts to realise that this is a woman who loves her son, who's very confident her son's going to come and rescue her and kill Sophia. And then Sophia experiences the dementia element of this character, how this character is suffering with some kind of dementia. And then she brings her psychologist boyfriend in, who doesn't seem to be doing a good job. I mean, if he's a psychiatrist, he clearly didn't go to psychiatrist school or any psychiatrist school, you would want him to go to. So he's useless. He's not going to break this woman. It's clear this woman is tough. She brought up, Oz on her own, and before they died, the other sons as well. But it's an interesting element with the mother, because obviously Sophia wants Oz to suffer, but we already had the conversation in the previous episode last week where she goes, if I become a vegetable, kill me. So if you kill her, you're kind of doing her a favour. And you're doing an Oz a favour, even though he'd be devastated that she's dead, because he said, I don't want to kill my own mother last week, but he promised to do it. So it's going to be interesting how the mother dies, because she's going to die. It's clear she's going to die, unless she stays for the Batman sequel. I doubt that would happen. We don't really know what's going to happen to Sophia. You would think they wouldn't kill off their little feminist icon, but we'll see. But Sophia is a really dumb character. I'm sorry, everyone's saying how smart she's not smart. She should have killed Oz in the first episode. She knows this guy. She knows this guy's ruthless. If you let a person like that fight for another day, he's going to come after you, right? So what happens, she calls Sal's phone, Penguin picks it up, Oz picks it up, and he goes, look, Sal's dead. If I'll give you the drugs, I'll give you the business, just give me my mum. But what Sophia does, she sends an empty car, well, not an empty car, a car with someone in, runs out, and there's a bomb. But the bomb is programmed to allow Oz to get out alive, because she doesn't want Oz just to die. She wants Oz to suffer. Big mistake. Next week, Sophia, is going to be the worst week, the worst episode of your life, because you should have killed him when you had the chance. I know she wants to make him suffer, but this is dumb. You don't let someone like Oz live to fight another day. So this could be a very interesting episode next week. Now, will they stick the landing? This is going to be very interesting. What happens to Sophia? Now, if Sophia was to be killed off, there'll be a lot of simps online that are going to be very, very angry about this. But how do you deal with this character of Sophia, who unfortunately, because they've decided to make her this feminist icon, hasn't evolved, hasn't developed in the right way. But I said it last week, this show is far too short to develop a character like Sophia, to develop a dynamic of Oz and Sophia first kind of getting on and then becoming enemies, because it wasn't long enough. But what I've noticed as well about this series, it's only 8 episodes, but there's a lot of filler in it. So I love the Penguin. I really enjoyed this week's episode. I thought it was really dynamic and interesting. I love the flashbacks. Bring on the finale.